Let's do it. It's the Carolina Panthers heading to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, the 2-5 Panthers, 3-4 Falcons. Falcons open this one up as the favorite by 4.5 points with an over-under of 41 in this game. These two offenses are almost identical. Both these teams are 1 and 2 in terms of rush percentage per game. They run the ball a lot, basically, for both these teams. The difference, though, for Carolina is there's no more CMC. And last week we saw a lot of Donta Foreman. We saw a lot of Chuba Hubbard. Aaron, what do you expect to see from the Panthers offense this week? Is it more of the same?
I think, this game kicks off at 1, right? Kicks off at 1 p.m. I think it'll be over by 2. So this is going to run the clock out, both teams. I don't know if they're going to.
Oh, your connection is shitty today. Your connection's brutal today.
One pass in
Oh man, back to back.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. That was like bad. I don't know if they're gonna run the ball. I don't know if they're gonna throw the ball, 10 times between Mariota and PJ Walker. I expect a lot of run heavy offense here. But for Carolina, I think you have to, despite not having Christian McCaffrey, I think you have to start with the running game. And it opened some things up last week for DJ Moore. And PJ Walker got it settled in nicely, got real comfortable, and was able to make a connection with DJ Moore. But outside of that, there really wasn't much. It's not like he had a huge day where we're like, oh, PJ Walker looked great. No, it was DJ Moore and nothing else. I think you have to get DJ Moore involved, but I think it starts with Donta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. And if they can continue to run the football, it'll open things up on the play action pass game and things of that nature for them. Atlanta's defense is banged up in the secondary, so that could have an impact on what Carolina wants to do. But ultimately, you know me, how much I rely on the run game in just about every offense, unless you're Kansas City and Buffalo. And even then, you have to be strategic with it. It all starts up front. And I think both teams are going to be focused on doing that this Sunday.
Coming into this week, only 2 teams had not been favorites in a game. It's the Atlanta Falcons and the Houston Texans. This week changes that as the Falcons are favored by 4.5 points. AJ, this has been a team that, Marcus Mariota, we've talked about a little bit with the rushing attack being such a big part of this team. Marcus Mariota has under 150 passing yards in 4 straight games this season. If they lose this game, do we really need to start considering throwing in Desmond Ridder, or is it just keep riding Marcus Mariota and just going with the flow?
Throwing in Desmond Ridder, to me, has at this point become a fan answer. I think the Falcons have made it pretty clear that they're going to ride out with Marcus Mariota. They lose this game, you can chalk it up to a divisional thing, but it shouldn't happen. You got some substitute players in there, but they've been very close against a Rams team. They beat the Bucs team. It's not like they fired their coach, got rid of CMC, and was chalking it up. They have a legitimate chance in this trap shit show of a division to become the number 1 seed or the number 1 position in this division. So if the Falcons lose this game, it's because Steve Wilkes made a good decision to take advantage of a banged up secondary, get the game started with the run, and then let that connection with DJ Moore and maybe slide in a little Terrace Marshall to surprise some people, let it get free. You look at what PJ Walker did the first week he was in against the Rams, about 80% of his passes, they were close to home, behind the line, at the line. Last week they brought it down to about 40% and let him throw downfield a little bit. If that was practice, now you have a team that doesn't have A.J. Terrell more than likely, doesn't have Casey Hayward. Jalen Hawkins has been banged up. Richie Grant has been banged up. If you go from 18% of throwing your passes 20 yards down the field and bump that up to 25, 26, they might find a little bit of light downfield and can push this ball, and that's going to cause problems for the Falcons. The best part is they've been competitive every single game, so I'd imagine they still keep it close with the way they run the ball. But they may have, if they're going to ride with Marcus Mariota in a game with the players like the Carolina Panthers in a division matchup, you may have to let him try to play some heroics. Show why you're keeping him in the game if it gets to that point late in.
Yeah, and last week we talked about it. The Bengals, they were up big in the fourth quarter, and Aaron, we had discussed this the other day. The Falcons just kept running the ball, and it didn't matter what the score was. They just kept running it. And
that's why I hate that take. Well, that's why I hate that take of AJ said it's a fan answer to say, when do we start looking at Desmond Ridder? No, that's a legitimate question that we've been asking about not only Marcus Mariota, but Ryan Tannehill and all those quarterbacks that do exactly what those guys are doing, which is nothing to win games, which is nothing to elevate your team to win games. There is nothing that Marcus Mariota is doing right now that Desmond Ritter can't do. Not one thing.
That's
Not
perfectly
one.
fine. But they've made it pretty clear how they feel, though.
But that's not the point. He asked you, do we need to start looking at perhaps when that time is for Desmond Ritter? And you said that is a fan answer.
Because
no,
we've been saying
that's a legit question to Arthur Smith.
Changed?
It's not about whether they will change or not. It's about should they change. And you're telling me that basically they shouldn't change because that's not how they feel. Who cares? Arthur Smith was down 18 points.
They're the ones that make the choice.
Arthur Smith was down 18 points and didn't trust Marcus Mariota to throw the ball. That tells you everything you need to know.
So why not put him in there?
That's it. That's the point. The question wasn't, are they doing the right thing? The question to you was, should we start looking at Desmond Ritter being a starter? And you said that is a fan answer. No, every analyst, every football mind outside of Arthur Smith, who's being very stubborn and not wanting to even acknowledge the question, is asking that question. So it's a valid question. It's the same question we have with Ryan Tannehill. There is no doubt that the Falcons should be looking at Desmond Ritter as a possible solution to get that offense rolling. Not only is the offense not working very well, but Kyle Pitts has basically been inadequate. Drake London has been a no-show for the most part of the last 3 weeks. So now you use a first-round pick on a tight end, a first-round pick on a wide receiver, and now you're going to run the ball every play of the game with your starting running back who's been on injury reserve for 4 weeks. It makes schematically, it makes no sense. And that's the problem. It's not about whether he wants to be stubborn. It makes no sense to say we're going to invest in these positions that we're not going to use. That is stupid. They might as well just use those picks on offensive linemen. And then said we're a run-first football team.
I would have loved that. That would have been great.
That's the point. So to say that's a fan response, I don't think that's a fan response. I think that's a very valid concern and question that should be asked to Arthur Smith and is at every single press conference.
My point is it's been one for weeks and nothing has gone differently. So when I say it's a fan answer, it just means it's the same thought process as them clamoring for Zappy in New England. We all want it, but they're going to do what they're going to do. That's basically what I'm saying. I would love that. I wanted Desmond Ritter to be the starter. I wanted Desmond Ritter to be the starter for the Atlanta Falcons for 2 years.
I'm not asking you from a personal standpoint. The question really is that pressure has to be applied to Arthur Smith in order for that change to happen. And so the questions are valid, and those questions need to continue from the media, from the people that are having talk shows, because eventually that pressure, it bursts pipes. Matt Ryan gets benched. Zappy gets in the game. So these things happen because there's so much pressure on these coaches. The fact of the matter is the Falcons offense isn't working right now. They're not good enough to beat teams. They can hang around in games, but overall they can't win these games. The defense is not helping. They give up the most yards in the NFL, especially the most pass yards. And now you have a Carolina team that has nothing to lose. They're going to come in here and just play free and loose like they did against Tampa. And that is a dangerous team. That's a scary team. I do think Atlanta wins. I do think Atlanta comes away with the win, but why are you scowling, Vinny?
Does that mean we do it?
I didn't understand. I was rolling into it.
You do not think Atlanta wins. You said
I think that's what I meant. I meant Carolina.
That's why I was
scowling. You were scowling and it started throwing me off. I said Atlanta.
I was like, wait, did I fuck this up?
Like, oh, no.
I have Carolina winning this game for 2 reasons. I'm not going to be there, most likely. That's number one. Seems like when I go to the games, Atlanta wins. Swear, they go beat the Niners, they beat the Browns. I was like, okay, I'm the good luck charm.
Where the hell are you going, man?
I'm taking Sunday off. Carolina gets this one. I do think that they have nothing to lose, and I like that mentality of playing free and loose and just go play. And Atlanta's defense is really banged up. 26-20 Carolina.
Yeah, there was a possibility that, I should go that way. But like you, when you're not there, they lose. Like me, when I pick against them, they win. So maybe I should have picked against them. But I'm going to roll with my Falcons this time around. And I got them winning 24-21 in a close game. I think they'll be able to run it enough to slow the rest of this game down. And the Falcons won't have enough time to put the points on the board needed to win.
Aaron, do you have the picks listed? Do you have the sheet near you of picks and
My
stuff?
sheet?
Yeah. Well, like no. Like
No.
I'm trying to remember
No.
who I picked yesterday for Thursday Night Football. Did I pick the Bucks or the Ravens?
You picked Baltimore.
I picked Baltimore. Great. That flows into my narrative that I'm trying to spew here. I have the Falcons winning this game 27-23 because if the Bucks lose tonight, then the Falcons have a chance to be first in this division. That's going to add to the motivation of winning this football game. And maybe in a close game, we don't see Arthur Smith say, okay, let's run the ball a bunch of times. And they say, okay, let's go out and win this football game. They win 27-23 Falcons. There you go. You're welcome.
You're a good guy.
Welcome,
You're a
AJ.
good guy.
Week 8, we're the division champs at 4-4, guys. Yeah, let's
That's all we
go.
need.
Hey,
That's all we
hey,
need.
that's the motivation right there. That's the motivation right there. They're gonna see a wide open NFC South, and they're gonna take it this week by being the Panthers 27-23.
I remember in the offseason, y'all laughed at me because I said the Falcons have a chance to win this division. That was while Tom Brady was retired. I never thought in a million years when he came back, they would still have a chance as of right now. There's a lot of football to be left, but it's just quite interesting.
I don't know if I'd say the Saints. I don't know if I would say they have a chance, but I just, all right, there you go.